Winning a 50-meter freestyle requires a total focus on raw velocity and the absolute elimination of drag. A single late breath or a micro hesitation off the block adds tenths of a second to the final time. Over a distance this short, those tenths separate the podium from the rest of the heat. To strip those fractions away, we're going to break down a precise 4-part physical checklist to optimize your body's geometry from the starting block to the finish line. To execute this, you will need a lane, starting blocks, and an absolute commitment to abandoning any thought of pacing yourself. Because the margin for error is effectively zero, every movement either preserves velocity or creates drag, making physical precision the primary variable in the final time. Stage 1 begins before you hit the water. You must attack the dive. Do not simply fall forward or ease into the transition. The moment you make contact with the surface, you encounter hydrodynamic drag. Water is nearly 800 times denser than air. To cut through it, your body must form a perfectly tight, rigid streamline the millisecond you enter. Hold that rigid posture and drive your underwater dolphin kicks with maximum force. Your core should be locked, transferring all your power straight down to your toes. Warning: a loose torso or a shallow entry angle acts like a parachute, instantly bleeding off the kinetic energy you generated on the block. You will never travel faster during the race than the exact moment you leave the starting block. The entire purpose of the underwater phase is to preserve that initial velocity, not to generate it. Stage 2 is the breakout. As you approach the surface, your objective is to breach the water while carrying every ounce of that retained speed from your dive. The timing has to be exact. There must be zero delay between your final underwater kick and your first arm pull. The two movements have to overlap seamlessly. Instantly shift into your peak race tempo. That requires a hyper-aggressive flutter kick and the absolute fastest arm turnover you can physically maintain. Firm. Do not try to ease into your stroke. Any attempt to hold back or save energy during this phase is a critical error. This vector map displays the precise spatial layout of your lane. Notice the first 15 meters. The velocity curve peaks exactly at the surface breakout. This opening sector dictates your tempo for the remaining distance. Because the race is only 50 meters long, any forward momentum you surrender in this opening stretch is mathematically impossible to recover before you run out of pool. Stage 3 addresses the mid-race trap, the physical illusion that moving your arms faster automatically translates to moving your body faster. This diagram illustrates the difference between wasted effort and actual propulsion. On the left, we see a dropped elbow. This is spinning, moving your arms rapidly but letting them slip through the water without resistance. On the right, the swimmer maintains an early vertical forearm to catch the water. To avoid spinning, keep your stroke long enough to lock your hand and forearm firmly into the water. You anchor that vertical forearm, pull, and repeat at a high turnover rate. Below the surface, your lower body provides the rhythm for your arms. Keep your kick continuous and powerful. Swimmers who let their legs die in the final 15 meters immediately suffer a drop in their arm rate. A rapid stroke rate accomplishes nothing if you lack mechanical efficiency. Forward speed is created by anchoring your arm to a heavy column of water and pulling your body past it, not by simply slapping the surface. Stage 4 triggers exactly when your body passes under the overhead backstroke flags. This is your visual cue to launch the final 5-meter attack sequence. For this final stretch, your head must be locked perfectly down, completely rigid and entirely submerged. Maintain your peak stroke rate and take exactly 0 breaths as your arm extends for the wall. You need to know your exact stroke count from those overhead flags. That knowledge ensures you hit the touchpad precisely at full arm extension, avoiding a jammed shoulder or a short reach. Warning tone. This is where athletes make the most common finishing error. They complete their last pull, leave their arm out, and drift into the finish. Gliding is active deceleration. To secure your time, you have to actively accelerate your hand straight through the physical barrier of the wall. Executing these 4 stages successfully eliminates the drag points and technical gaps that ruin 50-meter times. This timeline maps the operational sequence: explode, streamline, accelerate, sustain, and attack. Practice half-distance sprints first to maintain technical discipline without fatigue. Pay special attention to the outer edges. Master the breakout and the finish extremes before linking the middle. Executing this rigid physics formula from the buzzer to the wall produces a faster race than raw exertion alone can generate.